Well, originally, when I first got out of college, I went to Hampton Institute. Oops, I'm showing my age. Now it's Hampton University. I'm sorry. All right, hold on. Okay. All right. When I graduated out of Hampton, we won't say the Institute part. Okay, when I graduated out of Hampton, my first job was at Motown Records. It was really cool because my mom was friends with Cindy Birdsong. For those of you who are younger, you may not know who Cindy Birdsong is, but she was the second round of the Supremes. So she got me my first job. She was the one that filled in. Who was the person that got cut from the group? You guys know? From the Supremes? Remember the one who Jennifer Hudson played? She got cut and then this other girl came in.
Effie.
Whatever. Anyway, she filled in for the Supremes. She got me my first job at Motown Records. I was just an A&R assistant. I just helped with the new artists, and we had back then the DeBarges, we had Stevie Wonder, the Temptations, and I was in awe. It was a lot of celebrities. It was really cool. Those were when we really had celebrities. After that, I moved to Philadelphia, and I worked in radio. I worked for CBS Sports. And it was really cool. I met a lot of athletes and a lot of entertainers, and I really got the bug for the artists and the concerts of it all. So I moved home. Unfortunately, my dad got sick with cancer. So I came home to take care of him. And I just started having parties at my house. And everyone was like, you have really great parties. Why don't you start throwing parties for a living? I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I contacted a friend of mine. His name is Jay Irvin, Dr. Jay's son. And he had a lot of artists at the time. He had Jada Kiss, Floetry, a lot of really hot new artists. And I said, you know, I need a favor. He said, what do you need? I'm like, I really need an artist, really inexpensive. I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to jump out there and get some really expensive artists. He said, okay, I'll give you Floetry, and I'll give you Jada Kiss. So he gave it to me for like $5,000, which is ridiculous for Floetry. You know how hot they are. So I had a venue called Sonar at the time, and I asked, you know, could I bring a concert? They had really no concert venue. So he said, we have a garage, you can turn it into a concert venue. So I had a stage built, I had a sound man come in, and it was really hot because it gave you that like that New York underground feeling. So we had Floetry come, and they performed for like an hour and a half, which was incredible. It was a great event, and I got the bug. After that, I went on, I had Jada Kiss, and the list goes on. I think at this point, we've done about 65 concerts with different artists over the 5 years we've been doing the shows. So that's pretty much how I started. Is that good enough?
Mm-hmm. That was good. All right, now talk about how you balance your family life with your career.
In the midst of all that with my career, I met my husband, and we were married for about 10 years, and we had a wonderful son named Corey. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't last, but I still have my son, so I'm a single mother, which you probably can relate to a lot of folks out there. I shouldn't say that. I am a single mother, and my son's name is Corey. So, you know, working and being a mom and balancing somewhat of a personal life has been a challenge, but it's cool. I've shown him the ropes in the business. So he now works at the club I now have. It's called Velvet Rope. So, you know, I really wanted my own venue because I found that I was making money doing the tours and doing things with Wayne and different big artists at venues, but a lot of the money that was really huge was at the bar. And I put two and two together, found a couple partners, and we opened the club called Velvet Rope. It's in Baltimore. It's a beautiful building. It's about 20,000 square feet. And we had a stage built, which is really gorgeous. It's made out of glass. And so I've been bringing a lot of artists to the club. We've had so far Gucci, Nicki Minaj, Gotti, Jeezy. Wayne's performed here. We have Little Kim coming for my birthday, hosted by Nene from Atlanta Housewives. So it's really come together.
Mm-hmm. All right. Describe your relationship with your son.
Mm-hmm.
Your son, Corey.
Okay. Well, my son is now 18 years old, and it is difficult because nothing I do is right. I went from being his God to, oh, Mom, you don't know anything. So I'm hoping in time we'll become friends again, but I have him now working at the club so he can learn the business because I don't plan on doing this forever. So I would love to let him take over the club for me and really turn this into a career. Too many of us don't really show our children what we do, so when it's time to pass it on, they're clueless. So I want him to start from the ground zero. He's right now doing bar backing, cleaning. He's doing just the grunt work, and that's the way I think you should teach him so he'll know every facet of the business, not just being so-called the boss and not having a clue. So, but as far as our relationship, it's getting better. You know, he is having sex now, and you know, he's experimenting with trying to drink behind closed doors. I found bottles in the house with his friends in the basement hanging out. And I guess all parents go through that, but it bothers me because, you know, when his father and I were married, that's the reason we broke up. He became addicted to certain things, and I try to explain to him that that can be a generational curse, not to mention genetics, you know, and he was born into that. So I try to make him mindful that you can't do certain things because you're predisposed to bad habits. But you know, he's a teenager, he's going to experiment, and it's fine. I just want him to know that I'm here for him, and I love him, but I'm not a man, and I'll never be a man, thank God, and I can't really teach him how to be a man, but I think that we have a lot of good family members. I have brothers and people who have really supported him over the years, and you know, a lot of great people come out of single family homes, and I hope that he'll become the man I pray that he'll be. He graduates this year, hopefully, God willing, so that'll be a relief. And he really wants to get into the music industry, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to direct him in a good direction. We've had Tony Braxton, we've had Monique, Oprah's not from here.
Yes, she is.
Not originally.
Okay, but she's come through Baltimore.
Yeah. Then we had Oprah, who basically started her career here before she went to Chicago with People Are Talking. I don't know if anybody remembers that show, but I do. So we had a few that came from here, but Baltimore, if you can make it here, and I know that saying is such a cliche, you can make it anywhere. It's a very small town in the sense of you drive through the city, you'll see 80% is a very, very poor town. And there's only probably 20 to 30% that are really doing big things. And when you see that, it's either the poor or the rich. And they have a tendency to have a crab mentality. We love when people make it, but it's just really hard. We're hard on each other. And I think we're hard on each other as a people, just period. And anybody makes success, we look for the day when they fail. I don't know why that is. I just think it's human nature. So I don't feel successful. I feel